Yeah, Fairies is currently on track to be the 5th league today, so this is the beginning of our 2nd, so Fairies will be a little bit down the line. I'm like a solid like 4 out of 10 or 5 out of 10. I'm like functional enough to be here, but I'm definitely not at 100%. If you know, I'm like 7 or 8 out of 10 on an average day. So this is the deck that we've played once or twice in the past on stream. It's looking to leverage Torpor Orb and Hushwing Gryff to enable playing Dust Elemental and Eater of Days and Hunted Lammasu here as scary, powerful flying threats. That seems fine. Turn 1 bird. Where do my donation decks usually land? Your donation decks feel like they're usually pretty high variance, Nivik. I feel like they hit most ends of the spectrum. Man, Torpor Orb's pretty good against humans, chat. Let me tell you about cards that are like D+ against humans. It's my friend Torpor Orb. You're not wrong, Alcohol. As a parent, I sleep little and I'm sick often. Yes, JMP. If they do the right thing and ban Deathrite Shaman, you could swap that for a different deck if you'd like. This card had artwork last time I saw it, but I guess it no longer has artwork. Yep, it stops Champion of the Parish from growing as well. It does. It does a lot. It does a lot, to say the least. Boop. Just boop, boop, yep, boop you right on the nose. Boop you, boop you right on the nose. Yeah, 0 forever. It should be a setting that's saved in your browser. To flash in modern staple Dust Elemental and start gobbling up some humans next turn. I'm excited. Yeah, it's a nice champion of the parish. I think I'm pathing this Mantis Rider. I want to just like preserve my health total as much as possible here, I think. So we're down to 14. This Horizon Canopy, I was going to say, could cost us, but we drew a Gavony Township there, which is actually quite great, because we're going to get to go Dust Elemental, gobble up one of your creatures out of combat to this turn, and then next turn go Honor Guard plus Hushwing Gryff, and then start hitting the Gavony Township, which is great. Yep, deal. Come at me. I don't know. Why are they playing 1/1 for 1s in their aggro deck? Does anybody know? Does anybody know why there's 1/1 for 1/1s for 1 in their deck? It seems loose. I think both those decks are fine, Brendan. Of course Dusty's got Flash. Why wouldn't Dusty have Flash? He's terrifying, chat. Look at that big scurry face. Big scurry face that only a mother could love. Humph. Humph. Get him. Get him. All right. Voice of Resurgence. Honor Guard. I think I'm just passing for the time being. Get metagamed, humans opponent. Get metagamed. This is match 1, game 1. Oh, you've had enough, huh? Dusty and his orbs. Dusty and his orbs have scared you off. Reflector Mage these, buddy. Get out of here. Get out of here. All right, what are we doing? Do I want Settle the Wreckage? Pretty sure I want the settles, right? What am I cutting? I feel like I'm just supposed to, like, trim. Like, maybe the Lammasu here. And like an Honor Guard, perhaps. Just, like, cut one of each of these. I guess Voice is kind of medium in this deck, right? I definitely want to cut a piece of top end, so I don't want to get stuck on too many 4-drops. Maybe I want to trim a Voice rather than an Honor Guard. Because, like, just having a Torpor Orb effect early is really good. This card's pretty old, too. What set is this from? I guess it's not that old. But, yeah, this is... Yeah, Honor Guard seems pretty good. You think I'm obligated to mulligan this? I think I'm obligated to mulligan this. I think the Torpor Orb effects are just good enough that I want one in my opener. Bazion's great. So, I think I would keep that first hand against a deck where Torpor Orb effects weren't good, because having half of what we're looking for is pretty reasonable, but the fact that the Torpor Orb effects in this matchup have meaningful impact on their own, I think means mulliganing for them is very reasonable. And another reason why this hand is so good is because it's resistant to Meddling Mage, right? It's a card that... I'm pretty sure I just want to play Honor Guard just because it, like, blocks. It also lets me, like, play this land tapped and not take 2 damage to do it. This is, like, a little loose if they have Dismember. But actually, if they have Dismember, they can't cast it next turn, right? Because these can't make mana for it, and Dismember is going to cost them 2 with Thalia out. So, like, they can't make this champion bigger because Honor Guard's in play. And they can't Reflector Mage me. And they can't Kite Sail Freebooter me. And then we got Dusty and his orbs coming up. The old Dusterson. Yes. 1/2 flyer for 2 mana. People play these cards in Modern? This is just absurd. Can't believe people play these cards in Modern. There is not a one-sided Torpor Orb effect, no. So, I think I'm going to just be conservative here and slam Dusty into play now, because my opponent kind of tapped this like they might have a piece of removal here. So, like, if they killed this in response to Dusty, I would lose the game. So I'm just going to be conservative here. Because, like, obviously I just want to get Dusty into play ASAP, and, like, next turn I'm going to have more Torpor Orbs to put into play. which is fine. Thank you. I think I hit the mute there fast enough. I've added my mute to a hotkey on my keyboard since the Blue Yeti mute button is garbage. Love the sound quality, hate the mute button. No, I have a Blue Yeti. Oh no, chat. Oh no. Oh no. They have a Dusty of their own. Oh no. Oh no. They're using our Dusties against us, chat. Big Dusty Boy battle. Alright, what do we got? More lands, huh? Oh shit, they can't block each other, can they? That's absurd. That's really funny that they can't block each other. Get in there, Dusterson. Phantasmal Image was the downside of being conservative and trying to play around a removal spell there. Maybe that was wrong. I don't know. I guess Image wasn't really on my brain. Oh, wow. Wow, that's good. I think we're dead. That's some old technology. That's a card that, like, humans stopped playing. I think I'm just taking this hit and then hoping to rip Settle the Wreckage next turn. So 6, 7, 8, 14. Yeah, I'm just gonna go to 1 or go to 2 here. Kite Sail can block Dusty, but Dusty can't block himself. That was... When they tapped 2 mana, I was like, oh, this is Thalia's Lieutenant, and that doesn't matter because we have Torpor Orb. We got out Dusted. I think we were going to win the Dusty off. The issue was the Mayor of Everbrook. That's definitely the card that put that out of reach for us. It is, the design on this card is strange. It's definitely, the mixture of keywords on Dust Elementals is weird. That's for sure. But have to deal with Dust anyways. It's bad. You just want to disengage and mute a lot of those people. Pretty confident we sideboarded fine, so I'm just gonna run it back. I'm doing all right, Bloom. I'm about a little below average. All right, so I was gonna go voice into evolve for a thing, but we just drew a Torpor Orb, so I guess I'll just do that. I think it's worth fetching a Shockland tapped here rather than getting in 1 point of damage. No, I kept with an orb effect. I had voice into Eldritch Evolution. It was a slow orb effect, but it was an orb effect. I think I'm just gonna go double voice here, just like get a battlefield presence going. I don't really want to pass and let them flip the mayor and start making wolves here. I could have spawned, but I think it's not worth putting myself behind on the mana. You are correct that that is a play I could make, but I don't think it would be a good play. I think having my thing in play is more valuable than not. Alright, so they're just passing their turn here to flip the mayor, which is annoying, but not the end of the world. Am I just turning this into an Eater of Days? I think I'm just turning this into an Eater of Days. No, I don't think so. They have a Phantasmal Image here. We could be in a little bit of trouble, but if they don't, we should be in a pretty okay spot. You know what? I should have attacked with the voice first. I should have attacked with the voice pre-combat because it would have allowed me to attack into a Phantasmal Image. I probably would have got in for 3. They play Phantasmal Image. They played Phantasmal Image last game. It was part of why we lost. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and attack with this Elemental and this Eater of Days, I think. That's unfortunate. Let's see if they want to trade Eaters here or not. Yeah, I'd rather kill their Kitesail Freebooter, I think, here. So that way they don't have something to block Dusty with. Weltlinger, thank you for the 2-month tier 2 resubscription. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Be sure to take a peek at the donation queue and let me know which deck in there you'd like to bump up this month for being a tier 2 sub. I didn't know they were going to pass their turn and flip their thing. So, like, They had a 3/3 and a 2/3, so playing the Dust Elemental did not kill both of their things. If playing the Dust Elemental killed both of their things, I would... Zombie Loam, sounds good, will do. Thank you for the support. If playing the Dust Elemental would have killed both of their things, I definitely would have done it. I think we're just going to die to these Hellpack Alphas here, which is pretty unfortunate. Well, against humans without Mayor of Avabrook, you should have plenty of tools to beat them thoroughly into the ground. Against Mayor of Avabrook, we're pretty medium. Both the games that my opponents won have been on the back of this card. Average Bloom with the $10 donation. I got a few new finances in order. I got to get a few finance orders. You might not receive a donation from me for a little bit, but it's still hard not to throw a little bit at you. Hope your day gets better. If landfall is already at the top, put this towards any deck you like. Thanks for the support, Bloom. I appreciate it. All right, so do I want to crack this Canopy or do I want to start pumping my squad with Gavony Township? So if I hit the Gavony Township, I can attack them for 8 in the air. And then depending on what they do next turn, they're attacking for like 16. I think we're going to be slow. I think I need to crack this Horizon Canopy. That's a pretty good one. That's a pretty good one, chat. Pumping doesn't let us win the race faster. Like, we have a 3-turn clock regardless of if we're pumping or not, so I think it's right to cycle and try and draw to a good card like that. Horizon Canopy is a really good land. I think if using the Gavony Township took a turn off the clock, I would have done it. But I think because it didn't take the turn off the clock, it was right just to take the card draw there. Settle the Wreckage is very good. I feel like it should be in the sideboard of most of these mid-range white creature decks. It's like a sweeper that you can play in your creature deck without punishment. Ryland, that month flew by. Can I put this democracy towards Narset Cannon, please? Is that in the queue? It is. 10 out of 10. We'll get that added to Narset Cannon. Thank you. Thank you for the continued support, Ryland. I appreciate it. Settle down over there. Settle down. Settle down over there. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Settle is like really good in like Collected Company or like this deck because we have Dust Elemental, because like they're already thinking about a 4-mana flash card, and like we have a different 4-mana flash card here that's even better. So if it's less likely that they know that they're getting blown out when we do it, basically. So if they have a Phantasmal Image, nope, Image doesn't do it because it needs to be black. They need exactly Kitesail Freebooter here. That doesn't do it, friendo. That doesn't do it. Dusty's scared of himself. He's scared. He's scared. He's too scurry. He can't block himself. He's too scurry. You can't block Dusty. He's scurry. Grrr. 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 Dusty's got him. Get him. Grrr. Grrr. All right. All right. Want to know? Managed to beat humans in spite of Mayor of Averbrook being very good against us. Incoming bug report. We need just two scurry, chat. Two scurry. This deck has tools to be competitive. You've got some spot removal. You've got some creatures that close games quickly. You get to randomly hose decks that are hosed by Torpor Orb. Like, you get to play Eater of Days and Dust Elemental. Just nothing but modern staples here, chat. Nothing but modern staples here. Onward, upward, backward, forward. The low latency, chat, is A+. You are not wrong. Ooh, do we risk it for the biscuit, chat? I feel like I'm supposed to risk it for the biscuit. Like, even if we miss, I get to go Noble into Voice, like have an okay board. I don't mind keeping hands like this. Like, if we draw a land, this hand is very strong, and if we don't draw a land, we like still get to play Magic. So opponent mulligan to 6. Also, I have some intense wisdom for the newer Magic players in chat, and you can't argue with this because it is just strictly correct. You will never lose a game because you mulligan to 5 if you always keep 7. That's just the facts. Nothing but the cold, hard hitting facts here. Smells Like Storm, which we have a bunch of wet balls in the board for, so let's do it. That's like the second best draw in our deck next to a land, right? We're probably going to be in a little bit of trouble game 1. Post board, we've got a bunch of wet balls and an Eidolon, so I think we have an okay shot. We'll see. Spellskite's actually pretty good here as well, because it's going to allow us to protect our Damping Spheres from our opponent's bounce spells. If they cast a ritual, I'm probably going to concede. Oh yeah, she does stop them from gifting too. That's true. That's true. Yeah, we have a lot of good tools. We have a lot of good tools. Good call. Good call. Curdio with the $10 donation. I always enjoy your content. You are more entertaining than my wireless TV subscriptions. Please use these funds to further my education in JAC 202. Thank you for the support very much. I appreciate that. And just to confirm, you want that towards modern JAC, right? Not the Legacy deck? I had someone donate to play JAC in Legacy, so that should be fun at some point. I just wanted to confirm there. Land. That's unfortunate. Gump Paizo. Here's free money since I don't have real money. Well, your free money is real money to me. Thank you for the support. And there's a lot of great people that make a lot of great stuff on Twitch. Thanks for supporting mine for the 3rd month in a row. Welcome back. As someone who Twitch Prime subs to people on occasion, I know it can be difficult to remember to renew that. I always feel like the number of days before I can renew my Twitch Prime is like completely random. Twerk you later. Thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime. Welcome, I appreciate that. Did they just peer through depth splice desperate ritual? That's savage. That's savage. Yeah, we played a deck with that pretty recently. It's really sweet. Hey, Captain Ajani with the brand new Twitch Prime support. Thank you very much and welcome. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Remember, folks, if you do have Twitch Prime, even if you don't want to support my content here, you make sure you give it to someone. It doesn't cost you anything, and that turns into real dollars for someone that's out there making a bunch of stuff on Twitch. So pick somebody somewhere and make sure to send it their way. All right. Need to have a countdown, right? Thoughts on Leyline for sideboard other matchups? I hate Leylines. I really do. I think you should only play them in degenerate decks or decks that can loot through them. I'm just not a fan of Leylines in general. Dredge, Burn, or Giftstorm? Definitely Giftstorm. I don't think Dredge or Burn are very good. If you're going to play Burn, I would recommend playing the red-black Burn list that Colin Mullins, I think, was the one that was working on that. Towards Jeskai Possibility Storm, please. Sounds good. Thank you for the support. Alright, so I definitely want Damping Spheres, Spellskites, Eidolon, Saheli. I think I'm gonna cut... Is it nuts to just cut these voices? Actually, is it absurd to cut my Path to Exiles? I feel like I don't want to dilute my game plan too much, and pathing the Storm deck generally doesn't end up very good for you. Is it nuts to do this? I need to cut 7 cards here. I kind of want to just do this. Well, so we have Eldritch Evolutions in our deck too, so like we need things to evolve into other things, chat. So the voices aren't good, but they're good with the evolutions. I think I'd rather just have Damping Spheres and Eidolons and Sahalis to disrupt them rather than trying to path their dudes. Maybe I could leave in a couple of paths. I mean, do I want to cut evolutions when I'm bringing in Eidolon and Sahali? That seems silly. That seems like some nonsense. Eldritch Evolution is more copies of my disruptive cards. Honestly, I think I'm supposed to trim a Torpor effect. I'm gonna trim a Hushwing Gryff. I don't know that I want to cut that many threats at the top end. I need to kill them. Let's try this. I don't think we're a deck they're going to Ascension against, but maybe that's an incorrect read. I feel like the Ascensions are for like the discard and counterspell based decks. We got some wet balls and some orbs. Hands going places and doing things, chat. Going places and doing things. You think Bogle's on the list of degenerate decks? I think Bogle's would probably be considered more of an aggressive deck than a straight degenerate deck, but it probably depends on like what your definition looks like. I think you could probably split hairs on that one and classify it as either depending on who you're talking to. That's fair. Maybe just like cutting Torpor Orb is better than cutting Hushwing Gryff because Hushwing Gryff at least attacks. I like that. If we get a game 3, we'll cut the 4th Torpor Orb and put the other thing back in. We are very noble, chat. Nothing but nobles here. I don't think they're ever going to ban Tron. In fact, I'm pretty confident cards like Damping Sphere and Alpine Moon is them setting up for the fact that Tron's going to here for the long haul. I would recommend opening up MTG Goldfish and finding a deck that's in your price range. Now, I'm just going to get Eidolon here. Oh my god. That doesn't work. Oh, jeez. I forgot. Mistakes were made, chat. Mistakes were made. Mistakes were made. I was like, I can't play Damping Sphere first because it'll make my evolution cost one more. But I also can't evolution first because then Eidolon... No, I can't. I literally couldn't evolution and Damping Sphere that turn. I could have Torpor Orbed and Damping Sphere though. So that's what I should have done. In my mind, I knew that evolution was going to cost 4 after Damping Sphere, but I didn't think about Eidolon not letting me cast this. So I thought about half of how I needed the sequence, but didn't think about the other half. It doesn't work either way. I could have put the Torpor Orb into play. So basically, I'm behind a Torpor Orb right now. Torpor Orb could be in play at the moment if I'd sequence better. Average Bloom with the $5 donation. Story time. I am Average Bloom because the gods that be decided my gamer tag on Xbox is going to be Average Bloom 357, and I thought, huh, that's pretty good, and I was born. My story's pretty complicated. I used my legal birth name. Am I supposed to cycle this Canopy? Is that greedy? I think I'm going to cycle this Canopy. Why do I think Burn is bad? I think Burn is bad because it's not unfair enough to keep up with decks like Humans or Hollowed One. I think those decks are just better aggressive decks. The last time I used a name that wasn't my actual name, I think the only account I still use that doesn't have my actual name as the username is my Steam account. Has an old gamer tag username on it as what I used to sign in with. The last time I played my Green Black Rock list was on, I believe it was May 17th. You can also find an article on Gathering Magic about it. No, I have Gmail. Gmail filters things to spam nicely. I don't sign up for things I don't want emails from. And we're dead. Good chat, good chat, good chat. I guess they only have 3 cards. We're probably dead to Gifts Ungiven though, right? Little Bobby Tables. Legal birth names. Oh, XKCD. Whenever people talk about banning specific things in Modern because they're unfun, I always have to like pause and think for a moment and just be like, Modern's a format that's just like mono unfun cards. It's just like lots of things in Modern are classified as unfun by lots of people. So why don't, like, where do we draw the line on what's legal and unfun and what's banned because it's unfun? My article should be up on gatheringmagic.com any minute. It talks about Alpine Moon as well as other cards that I like in M19 for Modern. I'm not sure that we can win this matchup. If they get, like, exceedingly unlucky, turn 3 Eater of Days could maybe run them down, but if their hand is at all average, we're just about to get destroyed. DJ D's nuts with the Twitch Prime support. Welcome. You did miss Nova Chaser Turkin. It'll be up on the YouTubes later. I started with Nova Chaser this morning. If both players are having fun playing Modern, they've both failed their job. I like how Streamlabs just like puts names like that as anonymous, like Good Guy Streamlabs. I guess I get to go... I guess because they messed up their sequencing here, I get to do stuff, right? Is this actually game? Like, I have Eater of Days and Dust Elemental in my hand, and they let this resolve, so, like, I get to, like, path one of these shitters, and then, like, block one with Voice and get a token. And, like, if I hit a land because of their sequencing, I get to, like, start slamming things that are much larger than their creatures. I should have attacked there. That was a mistake. I'm not blocking, so I should have attacked. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. I punted back. I punted back. All right. I forgot what that card did. That's fine. We're hitting a land anyways. Yep, yeah, for every 100 bits you cheer or $1 you donate, you can move a deck 1 point up in the queue. Oh, Dusty. Oh, Dusty. I did take the green screen down this morning before I started. Towards any fairies list. Thank you, Killed Puma. I appreciate it. We're actually going to get back to Blue-Black Fairies later today. Yep. So normally, subscribers to the channel can put decks in the queue for a $10 donation or a 1,000-bit cheer. Right now, probably for the next couple of weeks too, I'm currently in a freeze for the donation queue, except for tier 3 subs and large donations, because I'm trying to work it down a little bit. So the donation queue has been very successful, and I need to make sure it's not too large so things don't stay in there forever. It's not difficult to be feeling better than yesterday. I'm still not at 100%, but I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. We donate to remove... No. I just need to start accepting less garbage decks. In fact, one of the ways I'm going to prevent the queue from growing excessively again post unfreeze is that I'm going to be rejecting things more aggressively that don't seem competitive, like the Nova Chaser deck we just played, and like probably this one. These decks, they're cute and they're doing something kind of neat, but like we've played these decks multiple times before, and like watching them get dumpstered the first time is kind of neat, but like watching them get dumpstered subsequent times is a little bit meh. Justin, democracy is not dead. Read this. There's still plenty of democracy. Plenty of democracy to go around. F Weasel with the brand new tier 2 sub. Thank you very much for the support and welcome. I appreciate it. Maybe you have a meme. Well, so it's not even just about decks being competitive. It's about decks that are interesting and kind of like wacky and weird. If they're not good, the wacky and weird kind of wears off once you've seen them once or twice. I'm not really a fan of Vintage from my time having played it. The format's very high variance because of the restricted list. Alright, well, our judge opponent kept a 1-lander and is currently getting dumpstered for it, so Eater of Days, go. We're planning to play Blue-Black Fairies before I wrap up for the day. Well, the decks that are already in my deck list queue are decks that I've already accepted and taken money to play. So everything that's in the queue at this point is getting played. Moving forward, I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive about telling people, no, this doesn't really look competitive. Which I already do, but I'm going to have to do it to a more extreme. I mean, there's so many decks that, like, cutting out just the bullshit ones is still going to leave us plenty of neat things. Like, I'm not worried about not getting decks. I think I'm just trimming these. The Jeskai Skies deck was actually a great deck. Like, that was a neat deck that still felt competitive. Yeah, just know, sometimes I'm pretty flexible the first time I play things, but like this deck, I don't think I'd take this deck as a donation again. Or like the Nova Chaser deck, I don't think I'd take that as a donation again. Just because, like, while it's neat to like try and make something work in the first league, I think even if people took a fancy to it, it doesn't make for good content watching the same thing get dumpstered multiple times, right? Yeah, exactly. What Jeff is saying is he wants new meme decks that are bad and interesting, not old ones that we already know are bad. Exactly. Things like Narset Cannon and Belcher, I think those decks are good on occasion, but like Goblin Belcher, for instance, that deck has been, we've played that enough recently that the wonder kind of feels like it's been worn off of it. Like, that deck's sweet to blast off every once in a while, but like, if we play it every week, it gets a little bit old, I think. How many sub-gifts did I give the deck you? So, sub-gifts allow you to bump a deck in the queue as a thank you for that, but sub-gifts don't let you put new decks into the queue. Just because they're hard to track for me. No, I think regardless of the result that we have in this league, this deck's just, like, not super competitive. Like, if we win this match, for example, like, we just won game 1 because our opponent didn't play Magic. See, it seems okay. We actually don't really have good tools against Dredge. Honestly, the reason why I could see myself not playing the Landfall deck in paper is it doesn't, while I think the deck is very good, it doesn't really scratch my itch to feel smart and thin while I play it. And I enjoy playing feel smart decks when I play Magic in paper. Like, if I'm going to commit to an entire weekend playing a deck in a tournament, I want to feel smart while I do it. They call me Jeremy with the tier 3 sub. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. As a reminder, people get the Abzan Enchantress in the queue. Sounds good, Jeremy. So while the queue is pseudo-frozen, tier 3 subscribers and $50+ donations can still add decks while we're on a temporary hold. I like playing decks that are tricksy. I like playing decks that do different neat things. Now, I don't think I want to try and categorize decks in different ways, because then I have to deal with people like sitting there trying to make cases for why their deck should be a new meme and why it's not. Like, so yeah, the Stream Decker is quite fantastic. Can I ever beat this Conflagrate? Just like ever? I think Naru Court is probably too clunky for me to play in a tournament. Like, it's doing some neat things, but I don't think, excuse me, it's probably not competitive enough. Yeah, Grafted War Gear is sweet. I think it's an awesome one of in that deck. I think that deck's really terrible, Bro Morton. That's actually a deck that I've rejected very recently. I hate green-white Value Town. I don't understand why you would play a green-white creature deck without a combo in it. And I get that Cod Stevens is a better Magic player than most people and he wins with it, but that deck is not good. Grishelbrand is the most powerful competitive meme. That deck is awesome. Let's say a month from now the queue is still over 50. Will the democracy ban end? No, I don't intend to open up the queue for $10 donation decks again until I get it under 50 decks. So I figure this situation is a win-win for me. Either people keep sending in decks at higher prices, so I'm making more money, or the queue shrinks and then I can open it back up for cheaper decks again. So I figure like either result here is going to be good for me as a streamer. Yeah, Serpy Boy, you should post your deck in the subs Discord. I try to comment on things that people post in there, and other people comment as well. You take that back, Kiln Fiend is the most powerful beam. I like the blue-red Kiln Fiend deck, Kanklebiter. The one that someone else was talking about was this weird Blister Coil weird build that I really don't think is good. I really don't think it's good. It's unfortunate that we haven't drawn a creature. Gotta play 2 leagues at a time. Double queuing makes for really bad Magic content. Yeah, the blue-red Kiln Fiend deck I think is very, very reasonable. The fact that, like, if I order food, I can step away from the door to get food, wife. Yes. Did you message me on Facebook? You did not. I actually think Fairies is a pretty good deck. I've enjoyed playing that. I'm torn on leading a revolution on the donation queue and letting it get back under 50 to let other people add decks. Yeah, that's why I'm kind of leaning towards, I like the blue-red Delver Fairies deck we played, because, like, turn 1, turn 2, flip my Delver to Mana Leak. That's kind of a free win some of the time. Take one more draw. If we hit something, we'll keep playing. If we don't, we'll move on with our lives. They have another Conflagrate in their bin here too, so we're probably just dead regardless of how we slice this. I'm gonna auto pass here and run to the rest of me again really quick, sorry. Maybe they attack with everything next turn. Maybe they attack with everything. Here's my actual prediction for the ban list update on Monday, chat. There are a lot of things that they could and probably should unban. You know what the update's gonna say on Monday? No changes in all formats. They have a basic forest in their deck. That's interesting. Nah, there's been buyouts like that before where things haven't gotten unbanned. Like Bitter Blossom had buyouts multiple times before it actually got unbanned. We're adding Jace the Mind Sculptor back to the modern ban list because he's garbage and we don't want people to spend money on him. You can read my articles here. I talk about things like the ban lists and stuff like that every week on gatheringmagic.com. We're just gonna die to this loam and this Conflagrate probably, right? I just used the bathroom, wife. I just used the bathroom. I just responded to your Facebook message. As she was posting to complain that I wasn't responding to her message, I was responding to her message. Live on the edge, time out your wife. They have Scrap Heap Scrounger in their deck? That's kind of fucking hot. That's... Huh. If you have access to Volcanic Islands, Blue-Red, and Forces, Blue-Red Delver Burn is a very reasonable deck. If you don't have access to Forces and Volcanic Islands, you should not play Legacy. Letting Declan choose what gets banned and unbanned would probably be about as consistent as letting Wizards of the Coast do it. The Delver Burn deck's probably okay without exactly Force. If you have, like, Dazes, you could play some Spell Pierce or something, maybe. Usually I look for a $100 donation to play formats that I don't normally play. This hand's actually very good. It just needs lands. Unbanning everything is silly. I feel like people who suggest unbanning everything in Modern don't understand cards like Skull Clamp and Chrome Mox and Rite of Flame. Like, these are very obvious glaring design mistakes that have no need to be legal in Modern. There's the people that go from we should unban Stoneforge Mystic and Green Sun and maybe Pod and Twin to we should unban everything. Those people aren't worth reasoning with. You should just ignore them. Jitte, yeah, these are cards that are just obnoxious and offensive. They don't create good games of Magic. All right, we're gonna retire Dusty and his orbs. This I'm glad we got on the scoreboard against humans, but overall this deck is not very good. Someone mentioned earlier that, like, these green-white decks feel clunky, and I agree with that assessment pretty firmly. Like, your interaction's not efficient enough, and your actual payoff cards are very expensive. All right, what are we doing next? Bant Deadeye? Is that what we're doing next? 4-week vacation. Enjoy, Pixel Hero. We're gonna get to Fairies today. Fairies is gonna be the 4th league today.